All right. I'm going to airdrop something to you on your computers in just a few minutes, just so you know. So I know that we have talked about it before, the Sandler model, and I know that you said you like the ladder. The ladder. The reason I don't like the ladder, to me, if I show teachers the ladder model, and I do think it's great to achieve for that highest rung, because that is your higher order.
Think they can just go up?
Yeah. I want teachers to understand there are times when you're going to have to go back to substitution. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't make you a bad teacher. That doesn't make you a technology failure. It doesn't make you someone that isn't utilizing the technology. There's a time and place for substitution.
Right.
And there's a time and place for augmentation. And I don't want teachers to feel like they have to constantly be at redefinition. It would be a beautiful world if every teacher could teach in the world of redefinition. But the reality is, at some point, we've got to do test prep, or we've got to do, you know, those formative DE assessments or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I like the pool model where they're swimming and they go back and forth.
Well, I can climb up and down on the ladder.
You can climb up and down on the ladder. I think I don't like the fact that teachers feel like
they're only going up.
That the higher you go, the better teacher you are.
Right.
Because I think the best teacher is the one that takes all of them and makes it a good mix for the kids, for the students, and a teacher that really knows how to knows what content should be used in what.
That's what I was going to say. You just need to know what you're teaching, what fits best for that at that moment, and then depending on your kids too. Somewhat, you know.
Yeah.
So I can go up and down the ladder, or I can swim.
Okay, well, good for you. You are just flexible like that. You should just be the trampoline. We'll just start a whole new model for you. And so one of the things we're going to do today is not, the SAMR model isn't necessarily about, and TPAC did a lot of this, so the SAMR model isn't about looking at an app and saying this app is substitution. Because there's so many apps that we use that are substitution that we could turn into augmentation with just a little tweaking. And so that's kind of our goal today, is to talk about the apps that we use regularly and try to figure out some things we could do to maybe just take it up a notch, just turn up the heat a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to airdrop each of you, and don't laugh at me. It is a Keynote. It was supposed to be a Padlet, but when I started it with the first group, it was one of those days where the internet was kind of wonky, and so I gave up on the Padlet. And so now I'm just going with what I know. So I am doing an augmentation today. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to send it to you through AirDrop. I have the spinning wheel, so give me just a minute. As long as it's not the
Do your
spinning wheel
thing.
of death.
Do your thing.
I think it's working.
Cuddly bunnies. Is it working?
Oh no, but I have to tell you while we wait, I still have this pen. Have you guys checked out that Meerkat or that Periscope yet?
Not yet.
Okay, it's these really cool apps where you can watch live feeds through your Twitter account. That's how we're going to do our news next year. So Periscope has a Bark Box.
BarkBox.
You know
Yes.
BarkBox,
Yes.
the company? They have a Periscope account, so I keep getting all these notifications. And my kids and I have had more fun watching these live puppies. Like, they'll put their puppies on live. It is so cute. We've had more fun with that. So.
I think we did one with, what is it?
Cuddly bunnies.
Fuzzy
Kitten.
puppies,
Oh,
furry kittens.
Furry kittens.
And what's the puppy?
Furry kittens.
Okay.
Fuzzy puppies, cuddly bunnies.
Yeah, that's it.
And then this year, the kids added Colorful unicorns.
Wow.
I'm sure it's gonna be added out, I'm sure.
All right. So it's coming to both of you now that my spinning wheel is gone. And the first slide is nothing, but the second slide is the one we're going to look at. And I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes. Okay. Is it coming? This is probably why I went away from the, it's waiting for you guys to accept.
We don't have a message.
Okay, we will cancel and try again. And for some reason I thought this would be better. Oh, there went somebody. I remember the days of passing a flash drive around
I know.
to get everything on everybody's computer. Isn't AirDrop fabulous?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to go to the second slide. And on the second slide, you'll see down at the bottom, it has just some of the apps that we use. And you guys don't use all these, but I kind of took apps that everybody at every grade level used
Right.
to kind of just open it up. And we're going to do something. We're going to go ahead and categorize them, which doesn't mean they have to stay there, but we're going to categorize them in the SAMR model and talk about where we can move them to.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to time you. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to get them where. Just think 2 minutes. No, do it on your own. 2 minutes.
Oh, she's not gonna-
It's the think, pair, share thing. All right. And if you don't know
Can I
what one
put
of
them
the
on a line?
yes, and I have
can put
several
them
on the line. If you don't know what one is, don't be ashamed because it may not be one you used. I can tell you what it is. I love that Wendy really thinks about this stuff.
Well, I only have 2 minutes though.
You what?
You're only 30 seconds in. You got plenty of time.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw them up there and then I'll change them around.
That's what I'm kind of doing, 'cause if you don't.
This is how we use them or how we imagine we could use them?
Just how, first, gut instinct. You both have very good guts, so I'm sure that your guts will be
Okay.
your gut
What
instincts are good.
what's the little blue one with the white smiley face?
Telegami.
Telegram.
When you make little characters talk.
What about the one that looks like blue leaves, blue and
Yeah,
green?
that's
Socrative?
That's what I was about to ask.
What about the rainbow book?
That's the book creator.
Cash cow?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a game?
It's an app, just a game app.
A game. Oh, how much time do I have?
Oh, you still got like
Not much
25
time,
seconds.
chick.
I just know that we would drag this out for 10 minutes.
Oh,
And
sure.
I want to respect your time, and I said I would only be in here, part of your planning, so. Don't want to be the one taking the whole planning. I'm not grading it, okay? I'm not grading it.
She's great.
We're going to talk about it now. I'm going to pull mine up. Don't
Very
panic.
different. Makes me nervous.
Okay, mine's really different. But that doesn't mean
Put them
mine is
all-
right. That in no way,
Yeah,
shape,
have
or
the rest
form.
in there. That's
Okay,
all right.
okay,
Good
stop.
Can we justify?
Yeah, it's not about being right or wrong because sometimes it is on just how
Right.
you use it. Okay. So let's just start with.
Let me take a
Take
picture
a
of your
note.
screen.
No, because that means that my screen is right and yours is wrong, and mine is
No,
not
because
right.
I want, well then turn it so we can see, because I
She
want
won't
to
do it because
see.
she's like, no.
It's
But
not.
I want to know
because-
your thought process.
I know. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. But again, it's not that I'm the right one and you're the wrong one because it's opinion,
Right.
and it would be wrong for me to say that your opinion is wrong.
Right.
So, okay, let's talk a little bit about the S. Did you put anything in the S?
I put pages.
Okay.
Several things.
Okay. All right, so you put pages in S solid. Do you think there's something you could do to pages to turn it into?
Well, I mean, you could make it a talking worksheet, and that would probably move it up to augmentation.
And I mean, our kids are to the point they could share it. I think Google would be a better option if they were doing Google, but I don't think that pages is stuck there because they can add media to it.
Yeah, I mean, you could add some things to pull it up. But
Right. I agree. I agree.
I'm just kind of like, okay, we're trying to
Yeah, I'm
getting
over
over
it.
it.
Yeah.
I'm too, I'm getting over it.
I do think there's a time and place for it. I mean, in college nowadays, I didn't have to write a lot of papers in grad school. I had to write one or two. So I
Right.
think there's a time and place to teach
Right.
the kids how to work pages, or a word processing document. But I don't think they do as much with it now. As,
I don't use it, but
Well, we don't.
like anytime I would be tempted to use it, I always think about Educreations because then you could turn the page and they could
Right.
almost make a book
Right.
instead of typing beginning, middle, and end. They can turn. The
Well,
page
and where I
you
used to
can
use
add
pages for
photos.
notes, I can use Evernote, and they can create their notebooks to do things that they're keeping up with and taking notes or whatever. So yeah.
Cool. All right. So, all right.
What else?
What else did you put in S? Anything else?
Yeah.
Go
That's
ahead.
a
A
lot.
couple of things. Well, I have some on the line. I have like Kahoot on the line, and I have iExcel on the line. But I don't use.
Okay. I kind of agree with iCell. iCell, and I might put it on the line because of the fact that it does give some feedback right away to the kids, and that's nice.
And that's why I had augmentation, because I was thinking there's it's more than just answering the questions. It gives the feedback. They can work at their own pace.
Yeah, and
It's
so
just there's that functional improvement, I think.
there's definite improvement. It doesn't do a whole lot to have that to engage their higher level thinking skills. It is still just content. What else?
She keeps thinking
You said
that.
iExcel and Kahoot.
I had Kahoot on the line.
Where'd you have Kahoot?
I put Kahoot at modification
Okay.
because, well, several reasons.
You're not wrong.
I know.
Well, why did you put it with substitution?
Well, I put it on the line. It's between both of them because I feel like I use it sometimes just as like a pre-assessment. So it's just substituting what I would have done, and then I'll do a post-assessment, which is still a substitution of what I would have given them.
And I think you're being hard on yourself because I think Kahoot allows for an engagement piece
Well, it
that
does.
the kids like. And so
I mean, the
would
kids
put
love it.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking strictly in my mind that I use it as a substitution for what I would have given them. Which you're right, there wouldn't have been the interaction and the fun and the let's see who can get, true. And I usually do then preview their scores, which maybe be a little different, but yeah. I don't know that I would do it.
And it's funny that the reasons that you put it in substitution are the reasons I put it in modification, because you said it takes the place of like the formative assessment. So I was looking at, it allows for significant task redesign. When we were using exit slips and
Right.
thumbs up, thumbs down, and all that, a lot of times you don't get that immediate feedback, or they're not as engaged, or they're like, they don't vote,
True.
thumbs up, okay, 12 of you didn't vote. But with this, they want to be on the leaderboard, and so I was looking at task redesign.
I like
no
both.
wrong.
I like both of those
Yeah, I
answers.
see what you're saying.
And I think you're using it for the right reasons. I think, and that's important too. Using it for the right reasons, because you're using it to assess your kids, whether it be formative or pre-assessment. You're still using it, and it's increased the engagement of the
Oh,
students.
definitely.
Because that's important. What else did you kind of put down on that lower end?
I just have cash cow hanging because I don't know what cash cow really is other than a game.
Cash Cow is like any of those apps. It's like your practicing apps where they go in and they just practice like stack the states or something like that. there are limitations to it. And so no, they can never do it with
Is it like
pencil and
younger
paper.
kids? Is it younger?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It is, but it's like any of those gaming apps, and it has its limitations. So I would say that a lot of times it might go into the augmentation. I would not suggest using them a lot because there really is. I'd say it's kind of like the IXL. There's
Right.
no definite improvement. You're not really getting anything out of it other than
Right.
the kids are engaged.
Right.
And the problem with most of our apps, unlike IXL, and when we put them on those apps, there's no data we can pull from it. So there's not a whole lot of, we can't really gauge how well they're grasping those topics
Mhm.
when we put them on those gaming apps. So
That's what I think too. Like, how do we gauge whether?
you can't. And you
Yeah.
can, it's okay to do it for practice, but
Yeah.
as part of your instructional process, I don't know if I
Right.
deem it very worthy. Where'd you put handouts?
Put it with
Like
modification.
What do you want to say?
Okay. But
Uh-oh, she's looking.
No! Stop saying well, you
Yeah,
st-
because
uh-uh.
I pondered on that one, and I was thinking handouts maybe I could see it being in substitution because it's basically a worksheet that they're using the iPad, but I put it at modification because of those words task redesign, because it
Right,
gives you
that's-
that way to grade it, hand it
Hand
back, and
But could you do that with pencil and paper? Okay, then it hasn't redesigned the whole task. You're still getting the same product in the end.
So
You've
it's
just
really
saved paper.
You just substituted.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'm sorry, and that's just
No.
my opinion. But I think when I think of task redesign, it's the kids completely rethinking the process. It is
Right,
a
I
block
think that's
instead
why-
of.
I think that's why I didn't
out.
put Kahoot there because I'm like, I didn't
Mhm.
like to me they weren't really redesigning the process
Mhm.
kind of thing for
Mhm.
me.
There's when you do those handouts, there's no true collaboration. There's no creativity involved. There's no opportunity for the students to think outside the box or on their own. And I think that's a lot of what redesign means.
Right.
Are we giving them the opportunity to develop a task around their interests or around, can they meet my goals on their own terms?
Right.
And so, yeah, I do tend to put handouts in a substitution level. You can move it if you want, but it is not, it's an opinion.
I might just put cash cow.
should put it under substitution.
I just put it on the bottom of the page. Underneath
You took it out?
everything I did.
But it has value. I mean, it.
Well,
it
I'm not
allows
gonna use
you
it.
to
You would use it because you're math.
I don't think it's my level.
Right. So that's fine.
Where did you put the flashcards?
Put them at modification, and here's why I thought it was task redesign. They can do the practice, which I know that's the same
Mhm.
substitution, but they can quiz themselves, and it's a little more honest for them than
Mhm.
if they're holding the card, because they can peek or and they may not be honest with themselves. I need to study this one more. But if it's on the program, then they either know it or they don't, and then they can see which ones they don't know, so they can go back and practice more. So that's the only reason I put it on.
So if you had completely honest children in your classroom, could you, completely honest, like Pinocchio, their nose would grow if they told a lie or cheated. Could you hand them a set of flashcards and could they accomplish the same goal?
Yeah.
To a point, yes. But I do like the feedback that the SAS gives. Stuff like anything that gives the kids feedback or gives the teacher feedback, I think is great. I put it between substitution and augmentation. That doesn't mean I'm right. I feel like if I'm going into the M and R, there's got to be a piece of collaboration there.
Right.
There's got to be a piece of creativity, or just one of those 4 C's that we keep looking at all
Right.
the time. I think something's got to fit, and I don't think that flashcards allows for those higher level thinking
Right.
skills. So, but that's just my opinion. But I mean, I kind of feel the same way when it comes to red laser. Like I've seen SAMR models that'll say red laser is up into the M and R, but for most of the ways I've seen it used, basically we're looking at augmentation.
Right.
You know,
I have it on the line.
Now-
Augmentation.
if the kids were doing stuff with it and creating the QR codes and collaborating together, I really think we can move it up.
Right.
But the way that we see it used so many times, and it's not
Yeah.
it's not we as in me or we as in you, it's we as in education. Even when you go to conferences and you see people present on QR codes, a lot of times they're used for things like scavenger hunts that
Mhm.
ask kids questions and they send them to one place. And I think that's a great augmentation piece, but I don't think it's allowing them to really move up. So
Did you move all of yours?
No, I have this box that won't go away. And I'm clicking, not because I'm moving stuff, but because I'm trying to get rid of that box. I don't know.
okay, so let's talk about SA. What else is left that you put in SA?
Poplet.
Okay, where'd you put it?
Under augmentation.
I would totally agree.
I have it on the line.
Yeah, I agree with that. I see reasoning. What about Socrative?
I'll put that one over it. Redefinition.
Because
I was trying to hurry.
no, I get it.
No, I think because I was thinking that
I think it depends on how you use it. I think sometimes teachers use it just a way to give a paperless quiz.
Right.
If I were using it as a back channel of some sort, and Socrative does allow that little discussion piece, but there's so many other places you could do it better than Socrative.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like back channel. I
Yeah.
thought Socrative was like today's meet.
Yeah, and it can be used that way, but generally most of the places you see it, it's being used. It's being used like those Promethean.
Oh, active
Like the-
expression.
Yeah, those
Oh,
active
okay.
expressions. That's the way I see it being used mostly, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at that point, you're really only getting to that augmentation part. I think you would definitely move into modification if you were using it as a back channel. I would actually like to see, as we move into some of our, when we move into using our Schoology, I would like to see our kids back channeling some. Whether, that, because, the studies show now that kids multitask.
Right.
That's who they are. They're multitaskers by nature now. I think yesterday, was it Dr. Edwards even said that 80% of what students learn, they learn from other students.
Other students.
So I think when the kids,
Because when he said that, I was thinking, because Emily, we were talking on the way about how I'll take the DE data and I will look and see who answered a question correctly, and then when I put them in groups, I put one of those with each group.
and that's a good use
And
of
then when we
data.
go over the questions, I know somebody that got it right's in each group, so they can, then they have to discuss, well, who, I just let them talk about it, and then usually the student that got it right can persuade the others and talk to
Mhm.
them about why and I'm thinking that's better for them to tell them than me.
Right.
Mhm.
And when he said that yesterday, I was like, I hit Emily, I was like, that's why I put them in these groups like that.
And that's definitely a 4th, 5th middle school mentality right there. That's
Right.
definitely that age group that's on the line, where they don't truly appreciate the knowledge of the adults in their life, and they value their
Right.
peers' opinions and their peers' thoughts way more. And I think we could really, capitalize on that.
I think so too,
with
because when
back
you said
channeling.
that was big for me, I was like, wow, that is a big
Yeah.
number.
We
You're
could
right, I saw you write it
really,
down.
we could really, get some good conversations going with our kids with that. Where'd you put Doodle Buddy? Just squiggly, little
Well,
squiggly
I
line.
put it at
I-
modification, but
That's
now
what-
that I think about it, it's probably substitution.
a lot of times.
I put it on the line of augmentation.
Yeah. I see a lot of times teachers use it. I think this is a great use for it. Modeling math problems and that sort of stuff. Especially in the younger grades, they like to model it with the stamps. And I would say that's definitely augmentation for them, just because the kids are using the technology and they couldn't make those models. And those were
Right.
problems. I know Amy Monday uses it a lot with her problem of the day. Where'd you put Keynote? One of my favorites. Sarcasm. There's no favorite in Keynote, but where'd you put it?
It's gonna be S.
Yeah. I mean, you can add videos, you can do things. The thing like we're doing now, you know, and there's no reason to do these interactive keynotes anymore when there's so many great things out there. But, you know, 5-8 years ago when I was, you know, when we were the first math teachers, you know, I feel like Keynote was one of the only programs I
Right.
had where I could make it interactive with the kids. And so I used it all the time and with the blanks where the kids fill in the blanks and they matched, and I would scan in protractors and they could turn the protractors and measure angles. And at that point I'm achieving a different task a little bit. But still, even then, it really only takes us into the augmentation because it's still just so rigid. Let's talk about redefinition. Which one of those do you think is a true redefinition app? Like, now that you're looking back on it and you're reflecting a little bit.
I think probably Schoology.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one with the leaves again?
Socrative.
Oh, I thought that was the little speaking person.
It's Telegami. I think Schoology is going to fall. I think Schoology is going to depend on how you use it. If you
Right.
use it to give your kids a quiz, or for them to turn in a Pages document that they
Yeah.
typed, you're not going to get much higher level
I have
thinking.
it like kind of on the line between A and M, but one more into modification.
Yeah, I had it kind of in the middle. I think what I would like to see, especially in our language arts classes, when we finally get Schoology, now you'll be able to mark up papers and stuff like that, kind of like you do in handouts, and you'll have the discussion forums in there, but you'll have the opportunity to set up small groups,
Mm-hmm.
and so to do book clubs
Mm-hmm.
in Schoology. I think that would be fun for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And have, you know, when they're doing their literature circles or whatever.
So you said that because it's just weird. I was thinking about that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
That I would like to have within my groups, have groups, like book club groups, that when they go, instead of everybody doing the same novel set, I'll have a big variety going on
Mhm.
and just little small groups of that. And then I can do guided reading. I can do it with one group per day to get through all the kids. And it'll be based on that maybe different strategy within that novel. So I was
Mhm.
thinking about that actually.
Mhm.
With book clubs.
I love that idea. And Schoology will give you that option of setting
Okay.
smaller groups. And then you can even set the assignments in there. You can create discussions just that would just go into that group.
Yeah, because I like what we've been doing is when we're reading, then they have to blog.
Mm-hmm.
I give them some discussion questions that they blog about.
I like that idea. I think Book Creator is kind of a higher level thinking because of
Yeah.
the sharing piece. I think for the younger kids, the modification, the chatter kid,
Mm-hmm.
you know, those younger kids, they have a hard time using their voice,
Right.
vocalizing
Right.
what they're thinking. Even if you ask them, do you have to go to the bathroom? It's a process for them to think and answer you back. It's
Mhm.
not a quick thing. And so
Mhm.
I think anything that gets those kids to actually have to think and
I
respond.
had it under modification. Did you have chatter?
Redefinition.
And I think it's with whatever age group you're working
Mhm.
with. The iMovie can go, I put it on the line, kind of the days of the kids just going out and taping each
Right.
other in iMovie. That's not going to get us up to a redefinition. Not when we could be, you know, putting them out there on SchoolTube or something like that, or even, you know, sharing them with other classes.
Mhm.
So, and then I think the only one left really is Nearpod.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Amy Monday is using it a lot, and Amy Vadekas are both using it. Just because they're running their guided math groups that way. Well, Amy Vadekas isn't, but Amy Monday's running her guided math group with it, and so I think it definitely allows for some modification, maybe even some redefinition of how her class is structured.
Right.
So,
So what do you have in redefinition, so we'll know what you placed here?
I put Nearpod there
Okay.
because I think it changes the structure of a class.
Okay.
Now, if you were using a Nearpod with a whole group in a whole class setting,
It's-
you're going to
right,
miss the
right,
piece.
Right.
You're going to miss it because it has so many tools in it that you can use that are better than that. I think that if you took apps like Telegami or, ChatterKid or whatever replaces Pic Collage, or if you took those and you app smashed them together, you're moving into some redefinition.
Okay.
Or RASBA, any augmented reality that you do, that's complete redefinition.
Yeah, I think I have that
So,
there.
so you all write down, because don't write down what I say, because it's not the answer.
I know it's not the
Okay.
answer.
We're just getting some ideas.
Oh. I'm like, you're not checking your email over there.
Yeah, we're typing down ideas.
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I like the idea. I wish our kids were older and could have their own Educreations accounts. I like the idea of them being able to do that and share with each other, where the teacher approves it and sends it out.
Mm-hmm.
And they can do stuff like that in the DE boards too. And I know, but Education makes it so easy because it's just so smooth. So those are some of the ones I put in redefinition. But I'm not always right.
It's your play.
All right, so on the last slide,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have a little challenge for you.
Okay.
And I know that it's, spring break's coming and we're not thinking, and then the end of the year's coming and we have summer brains and just stressed out from our kids. And so I will
Mine's the OG
send,
brain right now.
yeah, I will send reminders, but I have one challenge just for you to think about one thing that you could change at this point in the year. It doesn't have to be something you change every day. It could be something you did last year that's coming up and you just want to think, how can I change this? How can I take it from an S to an M? Or from an A to just one thing that you can change to kind of move yourself into the deep end of the pool a little bit. And then there's a Schoology discussion forum.
Okay.
And I know you're going to do this anyway, even if I didn't hold you accountable in the discussion forum. But I know that it might push us a little bit more if we know that somebody's going to be looking to see that we did it. So I know you guys would do it anyway.
Of course we would.
Absolutely. I know you're going to do it because you're both always asking. What can we do? So that's kind of your thoughtful question, is just to find one thing, not to overwhelm you. I can help. I'm always available to help because I do enjoy 5th grade.
It's closer
It
to
is.
your
It's close to my heart, like
Mhm.
closer
Middle
to my
school.
babies. And I've been in 1st grade all day.
So yeah, your thought process of what you said the other day must
Yes.
be gone. Be gone. Gonna lay hands on you, be gone. Promise.
Do you have questions for me?
No, thank you.
So we just need to find one.
Just
And
one
then go
thing.
into the Schoology and
I know Spawn. It's in your Schoology account. And discussions.
my brain's already working.
Right before spring break, I gave it to
Yeah, thanks. We
Yeah.
appreciate
Well,
it.
the snow days kind of interfered with how much I got done and when. And when we come back, our PD is all going to be about Schoology.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to start looking at some of the pieces
Good.
in there and
Cool.
doing that. And I got a 60-day trial to Dreambox. And I will be setting that up over
Okay.
break. I have to input all the kids' information because it won't pull for us. So I'll be sending that out to math teachers.
Maybe it makes the
Sounds good.
Thank you. I'm sorry I did take
I'm
more
gonna
time than what I
see if
anticipated.
Miss Hargett wants, if we're gonna do rainy day, and if we're not, I'll tell her to come and do yours in your class.